Joe and Carol lay in bed, back to back. The room was silent, the lights off, and the distance between them felt heavier than the blankets. They hadn't argued. They weren't angry. But they hadn't touched in weeks. What once felt natural, holding hands under the sheets, brushing feet together, whispering late into the night, had quietly disappeared. And neither of them could say exactly when it happened. Joe blamed age. Carol blamed stress. But the truth was, they still loved each other deeply. They still shared stories over dinner and laughed during afternoon walks. The problem wasn't their relationship. It was their bedroom, the cold lighting, the cluttered nightstands, the TV playing until midnight, the scentless, stale air. It didn't feel like a space for connection. It felt clinical, routine, lifeless. And they weren't alone. Many couples over 60 slowly lose physical and emotional intimacy, not because they've stopped loving each other, but because their environment no longer supports it. We spend 1/3 of our lives in the bedroom, but after 60, that room often becomes a place of sleep and silence, not affection and presence. Here's what no one tells you. Your bedroom might be silently damaging your connection, and not just emotionally. It can affect your hormones, your circulation, your mood, and your desire. But the good news, it doesn't take a renovation. You don't need to change your partner. You can fix this in one day with just a few intentional changes. In this video, you'll learn why your bedroom could be working against your intimacy after 60, what physical and emotional cues the room is constantly sending, what to remove, what to add, and how to reshape the space for closeness. Real stories of couples who brought passion back without leaving the house. This isn't about making your bedroom look like a magazine. It's about making it feel like a safe, warm, connected space again. Because when your bedroom invites intimacy, your body, your heart, and your relationship all respond. Joe and Carol had been married for 37 years. They had raised 2 children, survived job losses, health scares, and even the grief of losing Joe's brother. Through it all, their bond remained strong. They weren't the kind of couple to yell or slam doors. They solved problems side by side. But in recent years, something shifted. They started going to bed at different times. Joe would fall asleep to the sound of late-night news, while Carol scrolled her phone under dim light. Their hands stopped reaching across the mattress. Physical closeness turned into polite distance. It wasn't a decision, it just happened. One Saturday morning, Carol read an article in a wellness magazine titled, "Your Bedroom is Speaking. What is it saying about your marriage?" The article asked one question that struck her deeply. Would a stranger walk into your bedroom and know love lives here? She looked around their room. Laundry piles, a dusty treadmill, harsh white ceiling lights, 2 separate alarm clocks, mismatched lamps, and a TV remote buried in snack wrappers. Carol realized their bedroom had become a storage space, not a sanctuary, and it was starting to show up in how they related to each other. That afternoon, she sat Joe down. "I don't think we're broken," she said, "but I think our bedroom is." He raised an eyebrow, unsure whether to laugh or be concerned. But when she showed him the article and shared how she felt, something softened in him. He wasn't defensive. He was quiet. And then he said, "Let's try something. What do you want to change?" They started small. 3 things. 1. They removed the TV. It had become their bedtime companion, but not in a good way. News, noise, and distractions. They replaced it with a small Bluetooth speaker and began playing soft instrumental music or nature sounds instead. The silence between them felt less awkward, more peaceful. 2. They changed the lighting. Out went the bright overhead light. In came 2 soft, amber-toned lamps on each side of the bed. The glow was warm and forgiving. It made their faces look softer, their mood gentler. Joe joked, "You look like the Carol I met in '84 again." 3. They added scent and touch. Carol bought a diffuser and added lavender oil. She also replaced their old sheets with a softer, breathable fabric. Joe noticed the difference immediately. "It's like sleeping in a hug," he said. That night something shifted. They didn't talk more than usual. They didn't do anything dramatic. But as they lay in bed, Carol reached over and took Joe's hand. He squeezed back. Neither of them said a word. They didn't need to. Sometimes intimacy isn't about grand gestures. It's about the subtle invitation that says, "I'm still here, and I still want to be close." All it took was 3 changes, not to their marriage, but to their space. We often think of the bedroom as a passive space, a place to rest, unwind, and sleep. But the truth is, your bedroom is one of the most physiologically active environments in your life. And after 60, its effects on your body and intimacy become even more powerful. Let's start with something simple: light. As we age, our body's sensitivity to light shifts. Harsh overhead lighting at night can disrupt melatonin production, your body's natural sleep hormone. And without enough melatonin, not only does your sleep suffer, so does your testosterone. That's right. Melatonin and testosterone are linked. Poor sleep means lower testosterone, and lower testosterone affects everything from mood to libido to circulation. A bedroom filled with cold, bright light at night is quietly signaling to your brain, stay alert, don't relax, don't connect. Now consider temperature. Men and women in midlife often develop temperature sensitivities. A room that's too warm can cause night sweats and restlessness. A room that's too cold can constrict blood vessels and reduce circulation, especially to areas of the body where it matters most for intimacy. Doctors recommend a bedroom temperature between 60 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit, 15 to 19 degrees Celsius, for optimal sleep and hormonal balance. But it's not just your body, it's also your brain. Your bedroom becomes a trigger space. If your room is cluttered with unpaid bills, exercise equipment, or unfinished projects, it can signal stress instead of connection. If your phone is always charging next to your bed, your brain doesn't fully power down. The blue light suppresses melatonin. The notifications keep your nervous system alert. Your mind stays in go mode, even as your body wants to rest. And what about smell? It may seem trivial, but scent directly impacts the limbic system, the part of the brain tied to memory, emotion, and arousal. Lavender, sandalwood, or vanilla can calm the nervous system and increase feelings of closeness. Meanwhile, stale air or chemical scents from detergents can create a sterile, disconnected atmosphere. Let's not forget touch. Rough fabrics, overused mattresses, pillows that strain the neck. These small discomforts accumulate and send subtle messages to the body. Don't settle in, don't lean close, don't linger. After 60, physical comfort isn't a luxury, it's a gateway to emotional safety. When your body is supported, when your senses are soothed, when your mind feels safe, you open the door to presence, softness, and connection. And that's when intimacy has a chance to return. Because intimacy is not just about desire, it's about the conditions that allow desire to exist. You don't need to renovate your entire home or spend thousands of dollars to bring intimacy back. Sometimes the fastest way to feel close again is to change the message your bedroom is sending. And here's the best part. Most of it can be done in a single day. Below are simple, research-backed adjustments that can transform your bedroom into a space of calm, comfort, and quiet connection. Starting tonight. 1. Remove distractions. TV out. Studies show that couples with a TV in the bedroom have less physical intimacy and poorer sleep quality. Phones away. Charge them in another room. No blue light, no notifications, no mental noise. Unfinished projects? Remove anything that triggers stress or obligation. Bills, work, to-do lists. A clear room creates a clear mind, and a clear mind creates space for closeness. 2. Change the lighting. Replace harsh white lights with warm, soft-toned bulbs around 2700 Kelvin. Use lamps or dimmable bedside lights instead of overhead fixtures. Add candlelight or string lights for a softer, more romantic mood. Low, warm lighting reduces cortisol, stress hormone, and enhances oxytocin, the connection hormone. 3. Add intimacy cues. Ask yourself, does this room invite connection or separation? Try these simple changes. Add a soft throw blanket at the foot of the bed. Use matching or neutral-colored bedding to create harmony. Place a framed photo of you and your partner from a joyful time on the nightstand. Introduce a calming scent like lavender, vanilla, or sandalwood with a diffuser or spray. These aren't decorations, they're emotional signals. Reset the bed. If your mattress is more than 8 to 10 years old, it's likely impacting your sleep and comfort. Use natural fiber sheets, cotton bamboo, that feel smooth and breathable. Choose pillows that support your head and neck comfortably. Tension in the body equals tension in the mind. Make the bed a place you want to return to, not just crash into. Add one ritual. Every night, add one small moment of connection before bed. Sit together for 2 minutes in silence. Hold hands while listening to music. Share one thing you appreciated about each other that day. These rituals don't have to be physical. They create emotional safety, which is the foundation for desire after 60. Carol and Joe? They did exactly this in one afternoon. They decluttered, moved the TV, changed bulbs, added scent, and bought new sheets. That same evening, they both said it felt like they had a new room and a new chance. Because sometimes, to change your relationship, you don't need therapy, you just need a different atmosphere. A bedroom is never just a room. It's a mirror of your relationship, a quiet reflection of what's being said and what's being avoided. After 60, many couples start to feel like roommates instead of partners. They live together, eat together, even laugh together. But the bedroom becomes a neutral zone, no tension, no passion, just stillness. That's exactly how Margaret and Henry felt. They had been married for 42 years, raised 3 children, traveled, retired. On paper, they were the perfect couple. But for the past 5 years, they'd slept on opposite sides of a king-size bed, rarely touching. Margaret said it best. We weren't angry or unhappy. We just felt like polite neighbors. Then, one evening, while visiting their daughter, they accidentally shared a guest bed that was smaller, closer. That night, Henry placed his hand gently on Margaret's back. She turned over, surprised by the touch, and whispered, "I forgot how warm your hands are." They didn't do anything else, but the next morning, they woke up smiling. It wasn't the bed, it was the space, the closeness, the invitation. That moment made them rethink their own bedroom. Back home, Margaret looked around, stacks of books, piles of clothes, 2 giant nightstands filled with medications and clutter. "It didn't feel like us," she said. "It felt like a storage unit." So they started over. They bought a smaller bed, painted the walls a soft beige, removed the blackout curtains and let morning light back in, added a lavender pillow spray, lit candles before bed. Sometimes they still slept apart, but now the room invited them to come back together. Henry said something beautiful weeks later. "I used to think intimacy faded with age. Now I see, it faded with silence." A cold bedroom teaches distance. A warm bedroom teaches connection. Because when your bedroom says, "Stay apart," your heart listens. But when it whispers, "Come closer," even the quietest love can wake up again. And no, you don't need to be physical every night. But knowing you could, knowing that your space allows for warmth and closeness, that's what keeps love alive. If transforming a bedroom is so simple, why don't more couples do it? The answer is rarely about money. It's almost never about time. It's about something deeper, resistance to change. Joe, for example, initially shrugged when Carol brought up the bedroom article. "We've been fine for years," he said. "Why fix what isn't broken?" That phrase, "isn't broken," echoes through many long-term relationships. It's not about dysfunction, it's about numbness. Not bad enough to demand change, but not good enough to feel fully alive. Comfort becomes the enemy of connection. There's also fear that changing the bedroom will bring up deeper questions. What if we try and still feel nothing? What if I don't know how to be close anymore? What if we realize how far apart we've drifted? These questions are quiet, often unspoken, but they keep couples stuck in neutral, sharing a bed, but not a bond. That's why the shift often begins not with passion, but with courage. Carol didn't redesign the room out of frustration. She did it from love. She didn't tell Joe he was the problem. She told him the room was. That softened the resistance. It made the change about the space, not the people. And once the space changed, the people followed. This approach works. When you blame the environment, not the person, you open the door to teamwork, not tension. Here's how one couple phrased it. We didn't redecorate to fix our marriage. We did it to remind ourselves that we still matter, to each other and to ourselves. You don't have to wait for a crisis. You don't need to wait for Valentine's Day or an anniversary. You can begin today. One drawer emptied, one lamp changed, one new set of sheets, one playlist before bed, one moment of eye contact before turning off the light. And no, it won't solve everything overnight. But it starts a message, one your partner will feel even if no words are spoken. Because intimacy isn't something we create with willpower, it's something we allow, by creating the right conditions for it to return. Back to that first scene, Joe and Carol lying back to back, the silence thick, the connection lost. Now imagine the same couple, but this time the room is different. The air is softly scented. The lights are dim and golden. There's no TV, no phone, just the sound of gentle music in the background. Carol reaches over and brushes her fingers against Joe's hand. He turns, smiles, takes her hand in his. That's it. No big speech, no dramatic music, just two people rediscovering each other because the space around them finally allowed it. Intimacy after 60 isn't about performance. It's not about trying to recreate your 20s. It's about making space for closeness to happen naturally. And your bedroom, more than any other place in your home, either supports that closeness or silently drains it. So ask yourself, does your bedroom feel peaceful? Does it make you want to slow down and connect? Does it reflect who you are now, not just who you were? Because when your bedroom is warm, safe, uncluttered, and calm, something inside you softens. You exhale, you stop bracing, and suddenly closeness becomes easier. You don't need a new house. You don't need to buy your way into passion. You just need to pay attention to how your space makes you feel. Joe and Carol didn't change who they were. They simply changed their bedroom, and everything else began to move again. So here's the invitation. Look at your room tonight with new eyes. What's one thing you can shift? What's one small way to say to your partner without words, I still want to be close? That might be all it takes to wake something back up. How about you? Have you ever made a small change to your space that led to a big change in how you felt? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your story. And if you found this video helpful, subscribe to Longevity Talks for more insights and simple daily actions to help you stay connected, vibrant, and deeply alive after 60.